with increased reports of mass civilian casualties marred by indiscriminate attacks and sexual violence in armed conflicts. Civic society organizations, including policymakers and experts, are converging in Banjul to discuss critical rights issues as key features for sustainable development. The event focused on building resilient education system for increased access to inclusion in Africa, with delegates offering insights for dialogue and collaboration to strengthen rights through democratic governance. The program officer from the Network of African Human Rights said the network recognizes the critical role of National Human Rights Institute in advancing promoting accountability through partnerships.
Honorable delegates and distinguished guests, the independence of lawyers and human rights defenders is fundamental to advancing democracy and human rights across the continent. Unfortunately, many of these brave individuals are subjected to intimidation and reprisals for their work. The African Human Rights Mechanism plays a pivotal role in protecting human rights defenders, enabling them to carry out their duties without fear. To strengthen the protection offered by these mechanisms, we must enhance their capacity to respond swiftly to cases of harassment, build coalitions with international bodies, and reinforce legal framework that safeguard the independence of human rights defenders.
We have seen that one of the key instruments of public education, journalists, have been increasingly targeted by both state and non-state actors in our region. Unfortunately, even though dis and misinformation are real problems in our region, we've also seen the use of insult laws and hate speech laws to target journalists and increasingly arrest them, for the work that they do.
The Attorney General and Minister of Justice stressed the importance of regional instruments and Gambia's aim to extensively consolidate human rights, citing the Gambia's commitment to advancing rights promotion.
Armed conflicts and violence remain major drivers of human rights violations. Long-standing conflicts have led to massive human sufferings, with innocent civilians bearing the brunt facing displacement, sexual violence, abductions, and killings. The rise of extremist groups such as Boko Haram and Al-Shabaab and affiliates of the Islamic State, ISIS, has further destabilized local communities, severely impacting education across the continent. Gender-based violence and gender inequality continue to be pervasive in many African countries. Women and girls face discrimination in education, healthcare, employment, and political protection or participation.
The chairperson of the Africa Center for Human Rights Studies outlined the significance of education as a viable pathway for human rights development. It is through education that individuals achieve their full potentials in life. It remains a peaceful weapon, capable of transforming all our societies. Africa is not yet transformed and enough for us to lower our standards. Africa remains home to millions of refugees due to unresolved conflicts across the East and Sahara region. Organizers are hoping to utilize the forum outcome and come up with practical recommendations to engage government amid a regional efforts to foster more inclusive approaches in the promotion and protection of people's rights. Omar Faye, GRTS.